Hi, I've owned the Xbox Series S from launch day, and to ask your question, is it worth it? Absolutely. Stick around in this video and I'll explain exactly why. So the first thing is, it's so small. It's a mini console. I actually got it right here, yeah. You can see, I can hold it with one hand so easily. So if you're a traveler like me, who like backpacking, or you simply transport your console a lot, because it's so small, it's so easy. Whereas if you look at the PS5 is gigantic in a very awkward shape, kind of like an alien spaceship. Whereas the Xbox Series S is nice, rectangle, cubed. It will fit in backpacks. Anywhere you need to go, there's no issue. Whereas the Xbox Series X is a lot more chunky and more like a PC setup, so it's a lot more harder to navigate. So the size is one thing. But the biggest thing is the price. The only reason I bought this over the Xbox Series X is because it's so cheap. You gotta think, for a small price of $299 or $249, you have a next generation console that is a super fast SSD, can actually play PS2 games, PS1 games via emulation. It can play GameCube games, all Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox Series S. It's incredible. For the amount of power you get into this small machine, you can't go wrong. You could argue, okay, you could spend an extra $100 and get the PS5 if it was available. But I'd argue the Xbox Series S is a lot better digital version than the PS5. Because with Xbox, you have different game keys from sites like CD Keys. Take a look at the CD Keys review, and it's a place where you can buy game keys. So you can buy game keys on Xbox. Obviously, you have the best gaming subscription service out here, the Xbox Game Pass. And you can take a look at my review of the Game Pass in the card above. There's a lot of value when it comes to the disc. I don't really miss the disc that much. But with the PlayStation, because Sony controls all the games, you can't buy PlayStation game keys. You know, if you want to buy like a good Sony first party exclusive, you got to pay a lot of money if you're buying it at a PlayStation store, because it doesn't have a disc drive. But again, please like and subscribe for all gaming related content. As a small channel like myself, it really helps me grow. But you have to think about the power. Like, it is so quick. It's this SSD inside this machine is so fast. Games load instantly. Like, I never have to wait for a game again. Like, I did a video that you can see in the card of how fast travel is in The Witcher 3. And I remember dying in Witcher 3 on, you know, Xbox One, and you waited 1, 2, 3 minutes every time you reload. For me now, it's a seamless transition. It's just boom, you get there like that. And this, you know, every single game I upload, obviously I'm going to review of Cyberpunk in the next coming days, and it might struggle with this. But everything I've thrown at it for a small price of $299, it destroys everything I throw at it. Get the Xbox Series S for the best possible price right from Microsoft in the description down below. This is where I got mine in launch day, obviously when stocks are restocked. It's just a perfect machine, and you gotta think it's a very beautiful machine as well. I'd say it's the best looking console. Maybe the PS5 less versions is better looking, but it's a gorgeous, small, compact console. And as I mentioned before, it's how small. You can see in my video where I compare different objects and I compare with how big the Xbox Series S is. But I'll just do a quick one here. You gotta see, this is my Nintendo Switch, and it's, you know what I mean? It's more or less, it's very similar size. Obviously my Nintendo Switch has a, you know, has a controller attachment to it, but it's just so freaking mini. One of the bad things about the Xbox Series S, however, is the fact that it has an external hard drive of 512 gigabytes, which equates to roughly 312 gigabytes of memory, whereas the Xbox Series X has a hard drive of 1 terabyte, something like 825 gigabytes of memory. Why would you buy an Xbox Series S over an Xbox X? Well, a couple reasons. One, it's $200 cheaper, and two, if you don't have a 4K TV, like my TV in my room is a crappy 3D TV, if you don't have a 4K TV, then there's little reason to buy an Xbox X over Xbox Series S, because in performance wise, they're basically identical. The SSD is basically the same thing. And obviously, because of the limitations, it doesn't have a 4K capability. So if you want to play games in, you know, that crisp 4K quality, you're gonna buy an Xbox X. But if you want an incredibly powerful console, you only have to pay $200 less. And the thing is, all Xbox Series S owners like me I think I will sell my Xbox Series S in the next 1-2 years just because I want that crispy 4K with the new exclusives that Microsoft Studios are hard in making. I want to know if you can use an external hard drive with Xbox Series S. Take a look at my video. But you can. So all the games that I have that were Xbox One games, I simply put onto my external hard drive here, and I can run them straight off the Xbox Series S without the memory being in the Xbox Series X. So that offsets the problems with the small memory. Now, you can't run straight Xbox Series games. If you want to buy a really good external hard drive, you can get the Seagate. There's tons and tons of games on Xbox Series S. I can just go through, show you the different Game Pass games. There's so many games coming out in Game Pass, and if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you have gold games every month. There's so many games that you're never ever going to run out of gaming. Now, the problem is in terms of next generation games, obviously right now, because the console's only 3 weeks old, there's not much to play compared to with PlayStation. You have the new Spider-Man, you have Sackboy, you have Sunset Overdrive, you've got a couple exclusives, Demon Souls on the PlayStation. But just be patient. I think, you know, when Halo Infinite finally comes out, and definitely in the next couple years when Microsoft starts cranking out more and more Xbox exclusive, the Xbox Series S library is going to get bigger and bigger. But already, as I mentioned, considering you can play PS2 games, PS1 games, and GameCube games off this console, it's a pretty, you know what I mean? You have infinite games right at your disposal with this little console. The controller. Really and truly, the controller, it's the classic example of if it isn't broke, don't fix it. The only real differences they made is they have grips on both sides of the controller. So if you're out here sweaty playing Call of Duty, you know, the sweat's gonna have a little more grip than the old Xbox controllers. Now, knowing how good, and of course they changed the D-pad to make it a bit more responsive and better for fighting games like Tekken, because, you know, the Xbox One, I found the DualShock 4 controller had a lot better. It was a lot better for platformers and fighting games. So Ori Will the Wisps, obviously you're just going to use the D-pad. But compared to PlayStation 5, with what they've done with the DualSense controller, it does feel very, very last gen, this controller. Hopefully, maybe Microsoft will do a revision and sort of copy Sony's technology, because right now I think no matter if you have the Xbox X or Xbox Series X, if there's a third-party game on PlayStation that uses the DualSense, you should always buy the PlayStation version, because why not? So that bad boy wraps it up. I highly recommend getting the Xbox Series S. But if you're someone who thinks that you're going to use the extra memory, or you have a 4K TV and you don't really care about the Xbox X being a big fat Blanco tower, then I'd recommend getting the X. But for a vast majority of people, the Xbox Series S is perfect in every single way. Thank you so much. Again, please like and subscribe because it helps a small channel like me grow. Thank you so much. It's Dylan from The Gaming Man signing out. Peace.